Shalom. I would like to talk to you today about a very sensitive topic about menstrual health. There's been a lot of information that has come out about the chemicals and the processes used to create and make in the manufacturing process of creating the Maxi pads and the tampons, and there have been a lot of health issues related to not just the toxic shock syndrome, which most people are familiar with, but there are chemicals that are used that cause cancer, that cause endocrine disruption, that cause the disruption with your hormones, and none of that is healthy for you, for your body, mind, or spirit. So, and I know this is a sensitive topic, and it's embarrassing for a lot of women. It shouldn't be embarrassed. You should not be embarrassed about your menstrual cycle, because this is the way Yahuah created our bodies, and this is a natural part of life for us women. Unless you have your uterus removed, it's something you're going to have to deal with for some 30 to 40 years. And it is natural and normal to want to seek information about how to deal with issues with your related to your menstrual cycle. And people are not peachy keen on addressing those issues because, it's an embarrassing topic. I'm not embarrassed, and I hope that you are not either. I will use the medical terms used for the body, for the specific parts of your body. If this subject makes you uncomfortable, then perhaps this video is not for you. So it's been well known for many, many years that our bodies can absorb things through the skin. Just to give some examples, you have morphine patches, you have nicotine patches, you have cortisone creams and pain relieving cream. The list goes on. So it's been well known in the medical community that we can absorb things through something. It's called dermal absorption. It has been well known in the medical community and in the general public as well, for those people who are continue to educate themselves. I will have a link below to the CDC's website, and also there will be more information in the article that accompanies this, which I will also link below. But it's not a surprise that our bodies can absorb chemicals through our skin, and they go from our skin straight to our bloodstream, which and you're talking about the sensitive skin that is in your vagina, inside your vagina, and the outer layer. Those are very sensitive areas. They will absorb very well anything that you put against your skin. More so even because of the skin makeup. It's more absorbent than the skin on the outside of your body. Bleach is one very, very common chemical that is used in tampons and maxi pads. But there are so many more chemicals that you probably never even heard of. I know I haven't heard of a lot of them, not familiar with them, but even bleach we know is damaging to our skin. It is cancer causing. It is just not something you want to stick in your lady bits, inside your lady bits. But there are other chemicals. There's bleach and dioxins, furans, pesticides that are linked to cancer, fragrances that cause allergies, that are linked to cancer, that cause hormone disruption. And this is not anything that you want to put on your body, or particularly inside your body. In addition to that, there are a lot more chemicals than that, and I will put a link below to an article which I'll speak about here in just a minute. You can look and see exactly what chemicals are in maxi pads, and you can assume that they're also in the tampons as well. So in addition to the chemicals, they're made with synthetic products. rayons, super absorbent polymers, which are so bad for your health. But, you know, surprisingly, there's no ingredient list on the packaging, is there? No. And why is that? Because they don't want you to know what goes into it. The government has not forced them to be forthcoming with that information. So as consumers, it is our job to make sure that we are 100% aware of what's going on in the products that we purchase, but particularly products that go on our body or in our body. Women's Voices for the Earth did a test on the Always brand Maxi pads, and they found some crazy stuff in there. I will link that below to their article of what they found in the Maxi pads. And if that doesn't give you pause to want to stop using those products, then, you get what you deserve. I don't know how else to say that. This is something that we need to concern ourselves about. This is your body. It's your health. You are the one that's going to get sick from the products. What good does it do to do everything else you can to promote health in your body? You eat right, you exercise, you drink water, you eliminate the chemicals and the stuff from your food, but you're still using products that are damaging that you actually put on or inside your body. So this is something that we really need to be thinking about more, ladies, because profit will often destroy ethics in businesses, which is why these companies use these products, and that's why they're able to get away with it, because money talks. The chemicals are harmful. They have harmful effects. It's not pretty. In fact, it's downright scary what is in the products. I'm sorry, I'm looking down at notes because I don't want to forget anything. This is very important. As you're aware, we have a deaf autistic daughter, and a few years ago, she started developing these really raw rashes at the time of her period. And the only thing it could have been was the Maxi pads that she was using. So, being the diligent, protective mama that I am, I started doing research. And what I found out was enough to change what we use and how we use it. Personally, I don't like Maxi pads, but I don't want cancer. I don't want my endocrine system to be messed with. I don't want my hormones messed with. So if that means wearing a Maxi pad, it's a fact of life. It's a week out of a month. So, deal with it, right? There are some safer alternatives on the market for tampons and for Maxi pads that use cotton. I'm not sure 100% trust those products either, because I have tried some of the tampon products that are available and they still cause massive clotting issues. So there's an issue there for me. So what I did when I found out that Kelsey was having these issues with the Maxi pads, I went to work and I started researching, and I made some pads that were safe for her. This was the first set that I made for her. There's obviously more than this, but this is just a sample of them. And they have the pretty colors. She decided she wanted the black because it doesn't show the blood. She can't see the blood. But the problem is she can't see the blood. So she would have overflow issues wearing these. The second one I tried was these right here. And these are the ones she loves. They're pretty on the back and they're white on the front. Her favorite is the horse one. But, and as you can see, there are no stains here. These have been used for months and months and months and months. They're holding up really well. There's no stains. Okay, and I will show you, well, I'm not going to show you. I will tell you how to wash them. Quick, easy, no fuss, no muss. People make it a lot more difficult than it has to be. Watching some of the videos out there, gosh, when I was doing my research, I watched tons of videos about not only how to make them, what products to use for absorbency and that kind of thing. And I would suggest do research if you're going to make them yourself. But there are tons of people out there who have made them themselves and are selling them. So, you know, you have that option. There's also an option that you can purchase from Walmart online. You can't, they don't have them in the stores here, but you can purchase them from Walmart online or from the direct website. So anyway, these are a little thicker, but they're about the same width as the ones that you buy in the store, the disposable ones, and they work. They're very absorbent. There's no leaking issues. So, and she loves them. These are the ones that I made for myself for my light days. They do have a PUL layer in them so that they are, there's no issue with it running through to your underwear. But yeah, I like the pretty ones too. Wonder Woman. Yeah, just pretty colors, pretty fabrics, and these are all cotton. And as you can see, also no stains. Those have been heavily used. Okay, they've been used for many months, every month. Not today. For heavy days and nights, this is my preference right here. It is the Charlie Banana. It has this box right here has the 4 different sizes for every day of your period. So it has the liner, the regular, the super, and the super plus. I love the super and the super plus at night and during my heavy days because they are very absorbent. And so I really use the super plus particularly at night during my heavy days. For heavy nights, however, I do often have some overflow issues until I discovered interlabial pads. This is what the interlabial pads look like. Okay, notice these are used and there's no spotting. The color variations are color variations in the fabric, and this is bamboo fabric, by the way. I purchased these on Etsy. If I can find the store, I will link it below in which I purchased these. And what you do with these is you put it like this in between your labia, and it directs the flow of the blood so that it flows onto the pad and not onto the bed, or, you know, runs out front or back. Some people can have issues with either. I have found that in using these, I actually don't have to change the pad as often at night on my very heavy days. I have like 3 very heavy days and 3 very heavy nights during my period. And so these have been awesome. I love them. Some people actually use these too when they're just having like the spotting at the first and the last part of their period, which I have not done that. You know, to each his own. So these are the Super Plus Charlie Banana. And one is used and one is not. Heavily used. It's been heavily used. And you can see there's a slight difference in the texture of the... So this is very soft and like velvety because it has not had its first pre-wash, which you do need to pre-wash these before you use them. But this is, it's still soft. It's just not as velvety as this, but I believe the texture actually helps to increase absorbency. But as you can see, they have really pretty designs on there. So these are some of the colors and designs, not all of them. There are many more, but these are just some of the ones that I have gotten. I'm going to open this box right here so you can see what all you get. You get the 4 pads, but you also get what's called, what is it called? You also get what's called a wet bag. And a wet bag is just for transporting. Now, I never use the wet bag by itself when I go somewhere. If I need to change, usually I try not to have to change. But if I'm going somewhere and I have to change, then I will use a Ziploc and then stick it in the wet bag. Just because, you know, I may not like that. So, opening the box, you have, this is the wet bag. And I believe this is PUL fabric. It is water resistant. And it has a zip so that you can just stick it in there. You can also store them in this and carry them in your purse. And nobody knows this is a maxi pad, y'all. Nobody knows that this is a maxi pad. So you can just like take this little pouch and somebody thinks it's a little purse, okay? There are the 4 pads. And by the way, this is not a paid promotion. I just love this product. Okay. So you have the these are the 2 smaller sizes, which is the panty liner here, and this is the regular. Here is the Super and the Super Plus. The longest one is the Super Plus. So side by side. Okay. And this design is really pretty. Yeah, that is what we use. And Kelsey actually uses some of those as well. So on her light days, she likes to use the panty liners and the regulars. So she uses those as well. Thank you. So there are many benefits to using the reusable, washable maxi pads versus the disposable ones. And I'm not going to go over all of the benefits that people proclaim that they have. I'll just tell you that what we have noticed and the benefits that we have experienced. Shorter periods, lighter bleeding, less blood clotting, less pain. So less blood clotting equals less pain because it's the blood clotting that causes the pain, at least for us. No odor. They do not smell, okay? No smell. Whereas with the tampons, there was an odor. And I'm chalking that up to the chemicals that are in there. But there's no odor. There's no rashes from the chemicals or the fragrances that are added. That's another thing that they found in the Maxis is the fragrances. They're more comfortable than the disposable, and they don't make that swish swish sound when you're walking like the disposable ones, the crunchy sound. Yeah, they don't make that sound, and they're actually more comfortable to wear. Reduced waste. I don't have to take the trash out of the bathroom every single day during her period or mine. We have, after the initial purchase, you have money savings every month, and these will last for years, literally for years of wearing them every single month. They're pretty. And they're not as hot as because the ones that the disposable ones have the plastic backing to prevent the leak through, and so these are not as hot as the plastic ones. So, all right, now let's get to laundering the pads. You know, I have watched so many videos on YouTube about when I was looking into it about how to make them. But also how to wash them, because to be honest, washing them just kind of grossed me out to start with. But just because everybody's like, oh, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this. People make it harder than it has to be, truly. And they make it seem like it's more time consuming or definitely more annoying. So during my cycle and Kelsey's cycle, we each have our own little basket in our own rooms that we put the dirty ones in. And by the way, I have a wild cat and doesn't touch them. Okay. I've heard that some dogs will, so you might want to keep it away from pets, but my wild cat won't go near it, and he'll eat anything. So he won't go near it. So, and he's really attracted to blood, but not menstrual blood. Once our cycle is over, they get washed. They just all get put in the basket until the cycle is over, and then they get washed. I will put them in the washing machine by themselves. I don't put them in with towels or any other clothes because you're talking about blood, and blood can stain, and I don't want that to take a chance with that. Although, as you can see, no staining. Okay, so what I'm doing is working. The labial pads, I'll stick those into the lingerie bag, and that will protect them from getting lost or stuck in anything, any crevices in the washing machine. And for the soap, I use the same soap. I believe it's a 7th generation brand. I use the same soap that I use for all of my other clothes. It's a natural, no chemicals, no fragrances, no harsh cleaning products in there. And then I'll also use a half a cup of peroxide that I'll put in the bleach slot. So instead of bleach, I don't use bleach at all, but instead of the bleach, I'll use the peroxide, half of a cup of peroxide. I'll put it on the longest washing cycle that I have with an extra rinse, and an extra spin, because they are absorbent. You want to make sure you get all that water spun out so you're not drying them very much. I use lightly warm or cold water. I do have the option to have, because I have really hot, I have warm, and then I have lightly warm or eco warm, and then cold. So I'll wash them in either cold or usually eco warm. Heat will set in stains, so I don't wash them with the hot water, but the eco warm I do, because honestly I think the slightly warm water does help. It suds up better and clean better. That's just my personal preference. That's it. I do not pre-soak them. I do not pre-scrub them. I do not pre-spray them. I just put them in, like I do any other load of laundry. I put them in. I put my soap in the dispenser. I have one of the high efficiency washers. I put the soap in. I put the peroxide in the bleach slot and just close it up and start it up. That's it. Okay, when the cycle is over, I will pull them out and visually inspect each and every one of them. If there's a spot still on there, I have some peroxide that's in a spray bottle, and I will spray that one directly on the pad, toss it back in the washing machine. And sometimes there's like 3 or 4 that I'll have to do this with. I'll toss it in the washing machine and run it through another cycle, and they come out clean. And then I do the big no-no that everyone says, don't do this, hang them on the line. No, I pop them in the dryer. I put them in the dryer on regular, I have the timed dry, so it's based on the moisture content. And I do the highest level and the less moisture level possible for that. So I dry them. If there's any stains in there, it gets set in, but I make sure the stains are out before I stick them in. Possibly if you don't dry them, then maybe this will stay that soft, silky feel right there. I don't care. I prefer the convenience of drying them to this feel, which it does feel nice, but the other doesn't feel bad either. So I do have one tip. Do not use fabric softener, not the liquid and not the dryer sheets, because those will coat the fibers of the fabric, and that's how that makes them soft, and it reduces absorbency. I also don't use fabric softener in my towels, but some wool balls in with the towels will actually help soften those fibers up. So that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about today. I think as consumers, it's our job to stay informed about the products that we use, to make sure that they are safe for the health, our health, and for the health of our family. And, you know, also for the health of the environment, because, you know, it's our responsibility. We have dominion over the earth, and it's our responsibility to be good stewards of that earth. So, you know, you have the disposable Santa Claus, and you have the disposable tampons, and what happens to those? They can take years and years and years to break down. Whereas with the reusable, you're using the same thing until it's like worn out, which I'm nowhere near, and we've been using them for about 2 years now. And it's just, I mean, it's amazing the difference in how the periods feel and how long they last, and just with it not even being as painful for Kelsey. That is one of the biggest things that I concern myself with, because she won't tell me when she hurts, so I have to guess based on her behavior. And so when she starts getting angry and physically violent, then I know she's hurting somewhere, but you know, it's a guessing game of where. So that usually results in a visit to the doctor to figure that out. But since I started changing the laundry detergent, that was one of the very first things we changed about 5 years ago, was to change over to natural laundry detergent that doesn't have the chemicals that will cause her to break out, because she has very sensitive skin, and she breaks out with fragrances, you know, pretty much anything. And so yeah, we couldn't even use that with her clothes. And then I developed a health issue with the eczema that was like full body eczema. That was around the same time. Yeah, it was about 5 years ago that it was covered my whole body. It was in my nail beds. It was horrendous. And the doctors, all they wanted to do was give me steroids, which would make blood sugar issues, cause blood sugar issues. It just makes everything worse. And all it does is temporarily relieve the symptoms. It doesn't address the cause. They were not interested in finding out why I was breaking out all over my body in a raw rash that itched and drove me insane. And it was miserable. I mean, it was a living hell. It truly was. And, but they weren't interested. So if you ever wonder why I don't have a lot of faith in either the government or the medical system, that's why. Because they're not interested anymore. Used to be, they would be interested in finding out why something was happening. They don't care. They just want to give you a drug, give you a potion or a pill or something to take care of the symptoms. And then when that drug, potion, or pill gives you more symptoms, they want to give you another drug to cover that. And that is not health promoting. That is not, sorry, this is going into a rant. It's not health promoting, and that is not anything that I want to have anything to do with, because I have one body and one life, and I don't want to end up on drugs and more drugs and more drugs and more drugs, to depend on those just to get through the day, or to depend on those to not be miserable. But that was really a wake-up call for me, and perhaps that's the way Yah intended it to go down, because that's when we really started focusing on, okay, how do we promote health and not dis-ease? So we started doing research, and one of the first things to go was bleach, the harsh cleaning chemicals, the harsh laundry detergents, the harsh shampoos. I mean, for the longest time, I made my own soap to bathe with and to wash our hair, because there were no options locally for me to purchase anything that did not have the parabens and the other harsh chemicals in them. So yeah, so it's been a long journey for us as far as cleaning up just our daily life. And cleaning up the things that we use to make sure that everything we're doing is promoting health and not sickness. I really wish that the doctors would take their oath more seriously, the Hippocratic oath. first do no harm. And 95% of the things that they do can cause harm. Just look at the vaccines. They look at the medications, read the side effects. Yeah. They say that they will probably not happen to you, but what if it does? What if it does? And you know, with the vaccines, you can't sue them. Not even this new one. You can't sue them. They have absolutely no culpability. The companies that make them have no culpability. That's why you have a Microsoft engineer, a computer tech, creating a vaccine, because he's pushing his agenda of, well, I'm not going to go into that, but he's not a doctor. He's not a medical doctor, and yet he's allowed to make vaccines that he's not responsible for the consequences of. Now, if that doesn't slap you in the face and say, huh, what's going on here? Maybe I shouldn't be trusting these people with my health and with my family's health, then you're on your own. Just logically, to borrow a phrase from Spock, it's illogical. It's just not logical. And we really want to be promoting our health, building our health up, and not destroying it, because especially, you know, you have the chemicals that they put on food. You can't trust many foods. We would go to the store and buy something that was safe, and then the next week it wasn't. They had started adding in chemicals, natural flavors. Oh my gosh. There are many things that fall into the label of natural flavors. Beaver anal gland secretions for artificial vanilla is one of those. Yeah, let's get what comes out of a beaver's butt. That just sounds really appetizing, doesn't it? But yeah, they put that in our food, and they put chemicals, and they put poisons. If something is a toxin, it's a poison. And there are toxins and neurotoxins being put in our food today, or what passes as food today. It is so far removed from anything that is edible that it's downright, it's Franken food is what it is. And nobody wants to put that in. No one who is health conscious wants to put that in their body. So I just would encourage you to pay attention to what's going on. Research. Look at the ingredient list. And if it doesn't have an ingredient list, then you really need to be asking why. What are they hiding? Because today, just about everything has to have an ingredient list, right? Mm-hmm. So if it doesn't, then, you know, it's possible they could be hiding something. One of the things I've noticed is that the ingredient lists are getting smaller and smaller and smaller print. I mean, I with my glasses or my contacts, I can see really well with really small print, but I even have to pull out my phone and zoom in on the camera to be able to read what some of these ingredients are. And if it's something you can't pronounce, you don't need to be putting it in your body. Okay? God did not make things that are hard to pronounce. Things that are meant for us to consume are not hard to pronounce. So, you know, I would just plead with everyone to, and I'm very sorry this turned into a rant, but I would just plead with everyone to make sure that you are reading the labels, that you are being an informed consumer, particularly when it comes to your health. Drugs, chemicals, you don't want to have anything to do with those. Not if you want to be healthy. So I'm going to sign off. Yeah. May Yahuah bless you and keep you and give you shalom. And until next time, God bless.